of losing the wealth within no time. One's wife and children, too, are favored as long as they behave according to one's desire. Moreover, wife and children that are favorable do not always live together. Later or sooner, one has to part with them. A delicious dish gives pleasure as long as one's body is healthy. In old age, when teeth fall off, one has to be satisfied only with the flavor of food. In short, any worldly pleasures does not remain for all the times. So the very thing that is taken as pleasant becomes the cause of pain. So it is better that one tries to obtain indestructible and divine bliss of Bhagavan's worship and remembrance than to waste time on obtaining worldly pleasures that turn painful at the end. So to summarize, it's saying that ultimately all worldly pleasures, even pleasures like the enjoyment of like one's wife and children, ultimately all end. And the only pleasure that we can try to obtain is the bliss of Bhagwan's worship and remembrance.
In the last subject, we were taught that we must always remember the name of Bhagwan and must never stop chanting it, or we must never stop remembering that Bhagwan is our savior and we are in the resort of Bhagwan. For which Mahaprabhuji says that it is my conviction that the beings should go in the shelter of Bhagwan and should always recite Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Now why it is important? So for that, in the last paragraph we learned that pride of being the doer is the cause of worldly pleasures and pain. Means we feel that I am doing this, I am the doer, and therefore we suffer or we get the result on us that this is for you and you have to bear it. So here it is explained that worldly pleasure is also effective. Means that whenever we are in this world and we feel ourselves connected with our family, with our money, with the materials which we have around us, and when we are affiliated with all these things, we feel that all these things are for us and we are part of this world and these are our duties. And we face the happiness and pain which are created out of all those worldly pleasures. So here we must always try to understand that what happiness can be achieved by performing devotion of Bhagwan and what type of happiness are we having from these worldly materials. So we must always keep in our mind that all the worldly materials are perishable. They have to end some or the other day, and therefore whatever happiness we are attaining from those materials are just for some moments and they cannot stay for a long time. Means, for example, if we are happy with some of our family members, then they have to die one day. Same way, if we are happy with by having some material in our life, then it has to end someday, because it is perishable. So same way, if we are enjoying the food, then it has to end someday. If we are enjoying our house, then it is quite possible that we lose that material, we lose that house, we lose that family member, we lose that material. So all these chances are remaining in this case, because whichever material we have around us, every single thing is perishable in this world. And if we consider Bhagwan as our savior and we are performing his devotion, then it is the only method which can provide us permanent happiness. So we must not always remain in the worldly matters and must enjoy them all the time, or must be involved in those materials all the time. But we must try to understand that they are providing us happiness right now, but after some moments there won't be any happiness from that material. And therefore, if we constantly go on thinking this, then we get detached by those materials and we get attached with the devotion of Bhagavan. That's what the conclusion is. Is that clear? Okay.
Worldliness by the resort to Bhagwan. We have seen how worldly pleasures and sorrows are painful. If one wishes to be free from this pain, there is only one way, only one go. Leaving aside the pride of being the doer, one should go to the refuge in Bhagwan. One who surrenders to Bhagwan wholeheartedly, his worldly heart is transformed into divine heart. Now he does not retain the worldly pride, such as, it is I who does all this, I am the cause of all that happens to me. Now he experiences that all belongs to Bhagwan, that everything in this world is only for Bhagwan. He is the cause of all that happens. In fact, I am not the doer of whatever I have been doing. It is Bhagwan who directs me to do all this. So it's explaining how humans tend to believe that since we can't see Bhagwan or experience Bhagwan, we tend to believe that everything that happens in this world is the result of our actions and thoughts, but it's actually Bhagwan. We need to remember that. Should I continue?
Oh, wait. So here we, in the last paragraph, Sri Mahaprabhuji told that all the worldly pleasures are perishable and therefore we must not try to find happiness from them. And therefore we must concentrate on the devotion of Bhagavan and consider Sri Krishna as our savior. Now what is the result of that? What type of feeling we have in our heart after accepting Sri Krishna as our savior? It is explained in this paragraph that once we surrender before Bhagavan, now we feel that I am not doing anything. Whatever is happening with the wish of Bhagavan. And therefore, if we attain happiness, if we have some sorrow, in all those conditions, we accept those conditions equally and we feel that everything is happening with the wish of Bhagavan. And as Bhagavan is my well-wisher, he can never make me sad, or Bhagavan can never give sorrow to his children, means to us. And therefore, if Bhagavan is doing anything, even in the condition of pain, we try to understand or we try to accept that there has to be some happiness at the end because Bhagavan is my well-wisher. So this is the feeling which we have in our heart after considering Shri Krishna as our savior, for which Sri Mahaprabhuji says that Haristu sarvato raksham karishyati na sanshaya. Means Bhagavan will always save us. There is no doubt in that. Bhagavan has to be our protector because he is the person who is generating everything. So we are like his child. Means as we have relation with our parents, same is the relation with Bhagavan also, and therefore he can never wish something bad for us. He is our well-wisher. So Mahaprabhuji explains us that everything belongs to Bhagavan, and therefore Bhagavan only directs us towards all those activities. He is not, we are not performing anything. In Bhagavad Gita, if you people would have went through it, in Gita, Arjun was very sad that I am killing my brothers and I am fighting against my guru, and in the Kaurav Sena, everyone, each and every person is my family member and all are elder to me, then why must I fight against them, and this is sin and this is wrong, etc. These were the thoughts which were haunting him, and therefore at the end moment he was not able to fight against them. At that moment, Bhagavan told Arjun and made him see that Bhagavan explained him that you are not doing anything, you are just following my orders, and everything is happening because of my wish only. It is not so that you people are the reason behind this fight or behind this battle. So there Bhagavan told him that nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. Nimitta matra means that I am doing everything, I am just using you in this activity. You are not the doer. So this is the feeling which we must have in our heart, and if we feel so, we will accept the happiness and sorrowful conditions equally. Means during happiness also we will feel that this is happening with the wish of Bhagavan. Same way, if we are in the condition of some sorrow, we will also accept that condition in the same way, that everything is happening with the wish of Bhagavan. So the feeling of happiness and pain, they get diluted with the feeling that everything is happening with the wish of Bhagavan, and therefore we start accepting all the conditions equally. This is what the result is. Any question? Okay, continue.
By developing such kind of sentiment, detachment from all the worldly matters, when one takes refuge in Bhagavan, he goes beyond the application of worldly pleasures and pain. Let us see how it happens. After giving a thing to some person that we possess, henceforth we do not keep any kind of affection and attachment in that thing. We get detached from it. As we do not now feel the sentiments of possessiveness and affection for that thing, we do not feel pleasure or pain for anything that happens to it, whether it remains or not, whether it is well maintained or not, or whether it gets broken or not. Similarly, those who have surrendered sentimentally as well as physically all their belongings to Bhagavan, along with their ownership, along with their own selves, no more take these things as theirs. Therefore, they do not experience the hardship their bodies.
Can you explain?
Oh, sorry, I didn't finish. It was just there was an echo. Therefore, they do not experience the hardship their bodies undergo, or feel that they suffer pains regarding the family, house, wealth, etc. Moreover, devoted persons do not feel any kind of kindness or meanness, not only into the members of their family, house, etc., but also into their own body, which is by any way not attached with Bhagavan. So to explain, it's saying that after giving something, we don't keep attachment to an object if we give to another person. So those who have surrendered to all of their belongings and their bodies to Bhagwan also don't feel the pain that we experience, that someone would experience who didn't take refuge in Bhagwan. So the devoted persons don't feel pain or such hardships in life just because they give everything that they have to Bhagwan. So they don't feel that sort of attachment and ownership that someone would feel if they didn't.
In here, the concept is that, for example, if we are giving away some of material to some other person, means, for example, let us take a small example. I am giving my book to someone else. Now, if that book is belonging to me, I will feel that if the book is lost, or if the pages of the books are lost, we feel sad that the book is incomplete, or it is torn, or the pages are not, we are not able to find the pages, etc. Now, these are the sorrows which I am feeling from the book which belongs to me, or the book in which I feel that this is my book. Now, if I am giving away that book to someone else, then I will feel that, and if it gets torn or the pages are lost, etc., whatever happens to the book, then we will feel that it is not concerned to me. I don't feel any sorrow because of that book. So the material in which we have the feeling that this material belongs to me, this is mine, we feel sad, we feel happiness, and we have all these sentiments related with that material only. And if we are giving away some of our material to someone else, then we don't feel any type of sorrow or happiness which we get from that material. So same way, if we are surrendering in front of Bhagavan, we are accepting Shri Krishna as our savior, and we are accepting all the conditions and each and everything, and we are saying that everything belongs to Bhagavan and there is nothing which is mine. Same way, all the conditions are created by Bhagavan only. We are not the reason behind any of the conditions. And if with this strong feeling, if we consider Shri Krishna as our savior, we stop feeling sadness or happiness from any of the material in this world. This is what the conclusion is. I hope it is clear. Any question? Okay, continue.
We can see this in the characters of the devotees. Sri Vallabhacharya's disciple Suradasji was blind by birth. Kumandasji was so poor that he did not possess even a small mirror for the purpose of affixing tilak on his forehead. Padmanabhadashi had to pass days only by eating gram. In such adverse circumstances, they believed themselves to be the happiest beings on the earth. In order to kill the devotee Prahlad, his demon father got him thrown from the mountain, pierced by spears, crushed under the foot of an elephant, thrown in a pan of boiling oil. What pains did he not inflict upon Prahladji? Yet Prahlad was not affected by them the least. He enjoyed all these things, knowing them as sports of Bhagwan, knowing them as the sports of Bhagwan. The great devotee Jada was caught by thieves for offering him as a sacrifice to the goddess. Yet it had no effect upon Jadabhaji. Hence, it has been said in Sri Bhagavad that it is not a thing of wonder that those who have taken refuge in the lotus feet of Bhagavan, the Savior from all kinds of calamities, are not afflicted, even though they are led to the scaffold. So we can understand. To summarize, it's saying the same message as the one before, where the disciples that took refuge in Bhagwan, like someone like Prahlad, whose father made him go through all these horrible punishments, didn't even feel pain because he put his body in Bhagwan, and he took refuge in Bhagwan.
So we learned in the last paragraph that as we don't feel any sorrow or happiness from the material which doesn't belong to us, same way, if we surrender in front of Bhagwan, we stop having the feeling of those materials, and we don't have the feeling that I own it. So here the examples are given that Suraj Das was blind since his birth, Kumbhandas was so poor that he didn't had a small mirror for applying the tilak on his forehead, and he used to apply the tilak on his forehead by seeing his reflection in the water. He used to fill a vessel with water, and then he used to see his face in it, and he used it as mirror. So he was that poor, and once a king was passing from his house, he saw Kumbhandas ji applying tilak like that, and he came near Kumbhandas ji and asked him that I would like to give you a mirror. You don't even possess a mirror, because he was a very famous devotee and people used to respect him. So king felt that I must try to help him, but Kumbhandas ji didn't accept that mirror, even a piece of mirror from the king, because he felt that it's okay, whatever the conditions are, those conditions are with the wish of Bhagavan only, and we must just recite the name of Bhagavan, must not go on thinking about the conditions. So same is the example of Padmanabh Das ji also, that with the orders of Mahaprabhu ji, Padmanabh Das ji left his occupation of earning money by reading Bhagavat, because Mahaprabhu ji didn't consider that profession to be right, and therefore he didn't had any means of obtaining money, and during those days Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they used to earn money by the means which were explained in the Shastra only. Nowadays, as we get included or attached with any of the occupation, we start earning money from any of the occupation. It was not the trend in those days. So Padmanabh Das ji didn't had any other option. Mahaprabhu ji gave him option that you can read Ramayana, you can read Mahabharata, you can read Vishnu Puran and earn money. But he said that as you are not considering it to be right, I am not going to use any of the Shastra for earning money. So he didn't had any means of earning money, and therefore he used to serve Bhagavan also those grams, and he also used to eat them only. And he lived like that throughout his life. Same happened with the Prahlad. So these examples are given to explain us that in the conditions of sorrow also, we never felt that these are my conditions and I am the reason behind this condition, or I must try to solve this problem, etc. We feel that yes, if solving the problem is in my hand, or if I am finding any solution of that condition, we must do that. But if not so, then we must not be restless about that condition and must accept everything as the wish of Bhagavan. Continue.
We can understand from this, a person who has firm faith in Bhagavan as his resort does not feel the pang of pain through mountains of pains be inflicted, though mountains of pains be inflicted upon him. Why does it happen so? Because those who are fully dependent upon Bhagavan and who have surrendered to Bhagavan by all means are void of pride of being the independent doers of the actions and enjoyers of their fruits. Hence do they not experience the pleasure and pain of whatever actions they do or whatever pleasure they enjoy. Those who have not surrendered to Bhagavan are proud of their being independent doers and enjoyers. As a result of this, they undergo the affliction of pleasure and pain.
So as we saw in the example of Jeevvivek, that even though he was caught by the thieves for offering his body as a sacrifice to the goddess, he was not even restless at that moment, because he felt that if the day we were born, we didn't take birth with our wish, then how can we die with our own wish? So if Bhagavan sent us on this earth, he can make us leave this world also. So he was quite easy by accepting that condition as the wish of Bhagavan. So the person who surrenders in front of Bhagavan, who accepts all the conditions as the wish of Bhagavan, they don't feel sorrow, they don't feel happiness as a normal person feel, and we don't get restless in those conditions. I think the subject must be clear. If there are any doubts, we can discuss them tomorrow. Let us conclude here today.